Okay, so the first part, what we're going to do is we're just going to dive right in here. We're not going to talk about the resealable nature and all that because you already know that. We're not actually doing a demo for demo's sake. We're actually doing tips, so we're just going to dive right in and we're going to start unwrapping these.
We often like to put ours in the middle, so we put the little competitors here on the outsides, lay them down like that, get ours out there, and of course get 50 milliliters of water. We like to use green water because why? Well, lots of reasons why, but do not use red water. That's tacky. Another thing we like to do is use the syringe, as you know, because that way we're not just dumping it in out of a glass and people looking at that saying, well, did we know which one dumped more? How do we know? So we want to be precise.
Right, so use a syringe. Take the time and go and buy yourself a $1 syringe. It'll make the thing look a lot better. Or a beaker glass or something that can show people that you're using the same amount of liquid. People are naturally skeptical.
Sometimes we like to let them actually do it. Now don't do ours first either. Do ours second or third. This is ours in the middle because that way it doesn't look like we're cheating and giving us more time. We're trying to go a little fast today, so that's cool because we want to get this done in 10 minutes. But like we say, sometimes we let our people who are watching this, we let them actually squirt the water in. Sometimes it's fun to get 3 syringes and have a little race and stuff like that, but you have to tell them not to go too fast, and then they usually spill out of these anyway because they only hold so much. So that's 50 milliliters in each one.
Okay, now one of the things you don't want to do is rush at this point.
Right here you want to spend 2 minutes taking up some time because our fast-acting polymers inside of ours does take just a little bit of time to absorb that water.
And if you put a paper towel on there right now, you could get a little moisture out,
Absolutely.
right?
Let it do its job.
And we're letting them have their chance too. So it's fair, right?
Fair is fair.
So take the time, go ahead and fill up your next cup right here. And you can talk about, what could you talk about right now?
Well, we could talk about how our pad is biodegradable, 100% biodegradable, how it is not made with any chemicals, with any starches, caustic sodas, or bleaches, or anything like that. In fact, there isn't even any latex. So you say this is not only a better pad, but it is also a healthy pad. And what did Chinwe Da say? He wanted every woman to have ultimate health and all the distributors at ultimate wealth, right? Or a lot of health and a lot of wealth. So that's good.
Okay.
Then after
so now, one thing that you'll notice is you can tell that it's absorbing because the color's changed, right? Our pad is now whiter than the ones on the outside.
It is also getting a little thicker because it's taking that moisture, water, whatever, and it is putting it somewhere.
Okay, so now we're ready for the paper towel test.
And one thing we like to do too, because we're comedians, we like to fold a towel and set it down on here like this, and we'll show you what we mean here in just a minute. Now, as you can see, that's starting to get wet. Fold the towel, put it down like that.
I'll put one on this one here.
Now, where we are trying to wait 2 minutes for this, I like to go like this, and then people say, wait a minute. Why do they say wait a minute, Shalise?
Because it's not touching it.
It's not touching it.
You cheated!
It's upside down. So you go, oh, upside down. Oh, okay. And you go like this, then, of course.
It brings some humor in, right?
Right, exactly. And we say, well, but look, you can touch that, and look how that's getting wet. Oh, look at that. But ours, dink, 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 it's not getting wet. Sometimes someone will come out of the crowd and slap
Well,
that
they'll
down
usually
there.
dive from like 10 rows back.
Right, exactly. But then we will turn it down, and then it's time to say, well, okay, but how about that? Now,
Okay,
Shalise, take your little patty pot and just gently pat it down right there. Doink, doink, ooh, yucky.
Don't touch the key.
Now, one more person over here. Young man, now this is kind of a live demo too. We do have 2 people in our studio audience that haven't seen a demo yet. Go ahead and just lightly press down on that one there. Now, what if you were to press kind of hard? Or what if you even just slap down? Now that is impressive.
That's
There
neat,
you
huh?
So it is still dry, it is neat, but you do want to give it time to do that. Now
Okay,
that
so
there,
then-
holy smokes, it's dry, do that, and of course we want to get the scissors and cut into that.
Okay, so then we cut into them. And then make sure you cut, you're going to want to make sure you cut enough off there. And then it's also helpful to cut down the sides of our pad. You don't need to do it on these right here, but you do need to kind of get in here and help yourself out. If you don't do this, sometimes it tears the whole thing apart. It's just made so well that Winalite, doggone them, they just made such a good pad here.
You can mention this might get lost in the washer and it probably won't fall apart, as we've had that happen with some of our clients.
Okay, now one thing that we've kind of added that we haven't done in our demos before is we do what we call a squeeze test now.
We
And we take theirs and we take ours and we try to squeeze it out. And see, there's just squeezed out. But I mean, I cannot get any water. I've got some of the little gel beads falling out, but I can't get any water to squeeze out of this thing.
Where the competitors, of course, their top layers are wet.
And that's pretty neat for people to see. Is there any reason why we have water running there?
Yeah, we're going to get that hot because we want to do the hot test. Okay, so as you see, look at that. That's just wet. You failed! And we're not done. So we're going to do some more. This we call the extra mile test. We're going to see what's inside of these things. Notice the polymers.
Now here's the new tip. Let's put the cups up there. Here's another tip on this. Well, let me get this one off here first. When we first started doing this, we thought you needed a spoon to kind of peel this off, and it was hard to figure out how to get it. If you take just the edge of this and you pull it back and you kind of fold it down, this will fall right down there. And then if you just roll that up, it's so much easier. You don't need a spoon. And then if you break it, put it in the cup and actually just pull your finger through it like that. Don't push it to the bottom, but just kind of leave it right on top like that.
You can eat that.
Yeah.
Well, it isn't toxic.
Then it will absorb and it won't fall out of there.
Do its job, and we let this and do that. So we call this the extra mile test. We're going to let these two compete against our one, and then this is a good time to just speak of how this is plastic and this is not plastic. Shalice, will you do me a favor? Go around and get two of these glasses and put some hot water in each of them. And of course at the end, now this is the part we don't usually do because we're always in a hurry to get on and do another demo, but this is the hot water test. So we put hot water in the glass.
Right. Now again, the company disclaimer on this is they don't want to get sued for you burning yourselves.
So don't do this.
So don't do it, but if you want to do it, do it.
Yeah, don't try this at home.
We can tell you can do it.
Now the thing
Now,
about
this is their plastic one.
there's the
We'll
plastic
put
one.
a glass on there.
Here's ours.
We'll put a cup on there. And now one of the tricks is make sure the water is boiling.
Make sure it's hot water. And we watch that for a while.
And we can time lapse
Then
this.
of course we come back to this and we say, yep, look at that, theirs didn't absorb the water, oops, we pour it back, and we show, of course,
Right.
that ours did. Now if you sit there and shake this or whatever, you might get that to sling out of there. So we just do a quick upside down and there you go. One of the other tricks that people use that we think is a little bit gimmicky, but it's kind of fun sometimes, is go, hey look, and what if we put a bunch more in there? Here's 20 more milliliters, and you shove it in there towards the bottom like that, and you go, flip, and you go, hey, it worked, flip, hey, it worked. But, you know, because it does absorb more.
Right. Now one other tip, and you can see that they're really fogging up. You can see the
Right.
difference there. But
Ours?
one thing we forgot to mention is we use a towel for absorption, but also we found that when we glue it directly, when we take one of these and glue the pad right to the counter, there's two problems. One,
The glue sticks to the counter, and two, you tear the plastic
right,
thing
and
apart.
sometimes the residue is really hard to clean off. We actually made a friend kind of upset with us once.
Yes.
She's over it now.
Hope so.
But the bigger problem is if you try to do this test right here, you can actually tear a little tiny hole
Or a big hole.
in the bottom and not know about it, and then both glasses fog up, right? So you can definitely see the difference there. And those are kind of some of the tricks and tips that we've learned along the way in doing demos. And anything else, Wayne?
No, that's just a lot of fun, so thank you for coming. Look at these, holy smokes, ours is air permeable, theirs is not, healthy, etc. Okay, get your kit together, do a demo.